Guess who's back in the Parlay Studios? It is I, Justin Pooni, here for a super wild card weekend in the NFL. And forget PB&J, I'm with S&J.
Nice.
Shawn McCormick and Jelani Goodridge-Reid.
Don't give him that. Don't give him that. That's
Good one.
That's some weak shit, man. That's some weak shit.
Guys, super wild card weekend. So we're going to go through every game and give you our picks, okay? Shawn, I know you're struggling this year. Jelani, you've been up and down.
Yeah, up and
I've
down.
had some success and some not so success, but all good vibes. We're going to crush it this weekend, hopefully. Now, let's start up. First game of the weekend. My Seattle Seahawks travel down to Levi Stadium in San Francisco and take on against the red-hot San Francisco 49ers, winners of 10 straight. The line is set at San Francisco minus 9.5. Shawn, let's go with you first. Who do you got?
A couple of big spreads this weekend,
Nice.
right?
Yeah,
A couple of big spreads. I just feel like the defense for San Francisco is going to lead the game in this one. You have two inexperienced playoff quarterbacks, Brock Purdy and Geno Smith. I expect Geno to have a decent game. Brock Purdy probably will have a decent game. It's not like the Seahawks defense is very good, but I do think that the Seahawks defense, the 49ers defense will be the side of the game that will control the game and allow San Francisco to cover that big spread of 9.5.
Okay. It also helps you hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey like 35 times.
The Seattle defense does not know how to tackle. Let's just be fair. I'm going to go with San Francisco in this one. It is a big spread, but if you're looking at the two matchups, right? Outscoring your guys 48-20, okay, this season. So I'm going to go with the Niners in this spot. You never know. There's always an upset here and there in the NFL playoffs, but I am comfortable with the strongest roster, in my opinion, in the NFC.
See, you guys are both going to be wrong. The perfect weekend's over because the Seattle Seahawks are going to cover the spread, and here's why.
Okay.
They both have been playing for the third straight time, the third time this season. There's a lot of film. Pete Carroll can now teach his young squad up, and I think Brock Purdy is going to start feeling a little bit of pressure in the playoffs because, like you said, Seattle's playing with house money right now. They have nothing to lose. Nobody expected them to be there. They have potentially the offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year. Geno Smith just led the NFL in completion percentage, 4,000 yards. Look, I'm not saying they're going to win, but what I'm saying is it's a divisional game. You know they're going to play each other tight, and I think the Seattle Seahawks will cover the 9.5 point spread, lose, but will cover the 9.5 points.
The only thing I'd say about that before we move on would be I can see it. I mean, Jared Stidham just had a great game against this very 49ers team. So, I mean, I obviously think Geno Smith is better than Jared Stidham, but I just don't see it happening. But, I mean, hey, you could still have a perfect weekend.
I could. I could. Now, let's go down to Jacksonville, Florida, where the Jacksonville Jaguars, led by Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, face off against the finally playoff-bound Los Angeles Chargers with your boy Justin Herbert. The Chargers are road favorites at minus 2.5. Shawn, where are you putting your stock? Where are you putting your skin in the game too?
I think the loss of Mike Williams is huge. Just absolutely huge for this team. I mean, I think they have a lot of good weapons on the offense. They've, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert, like studs, absolute studs. Back in, I think it was week 3, the Jaguars blew out this team, like 38-10 or something. I mean, I don't expect anything like that. I expect a very tight game here, but I'm going to lean with the Jaguars and the points, and I'll probably take the Jaguars on the money line. If you asked me like 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago before the Mike Williams news broke, I might have been on the other side of this game. I do think he's a key player for this team. I'm going to go Jags in this one.
Give me the Chargers. I think the Chargers get it done here. And yes, you did mention that.
I thought we were PB&J, man. What happened?
We are,
S&J.
we are, but sometimes it doesn't go together. But I'm gonna go with the Bolts here. I think the Bolts get it done. Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. That's gonna be a great matchup, of course. But a lot of people are knocking the Chargers as of late. They're saying, they're not really real. I do look at the against the spread record as of late. 4-0-1 against the spread. They have been reliable in that spot. And yes, you lose Mike Williams. That's huge. That is obviously huge. So I want to see who's going to step up on that offense. They have guys, you name them. But that's another thing about the head coaching there in LA. When you're talking about Staley, you didn't have to play all your guys in week 18. They were going to be locked in the 5th seed. So that's the issue. But give me the Chargers though.
Again, to piggyback off the coaching matchup, I think Doug Peterson's a way better coach than Brandon Staley. I think it's going to be like one of those games where whichever quarterback has got the ball last is going to win. And I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have the ball last, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this game. Watch out for Evan Ingram to have a big game. He's had a very low-key nice season. The only reason I bring that up is because he won me my fantasy football league this year.
Congratulations.
Waiver wire pickup. Remember, kids, always check the waiver wire for great finds in fantasy football.
It's true.
So I'm going to go with the Jaguars. Now, this is the biggest spread of the weekend. The Miami Dolphins minus Tua Tagovailoa go up to Buffalo to face off against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are 13.5-point favorites, guys. Sean, that's got to be way too many points for a divisional playoff game, right? No?
No. I love the Bills. I think it might probably be my favorite line of the weekend. Obviously, you would have loved to have it back when it was 9.5, 10. I still think if it stays under that 2-touchdown mark, like where are the points going to come from for the Dolphins, right? I mean,
don't know.
Say Josh Allen throws a pick six. Say Tyreek Hill connects on like a 60-yard play, right? Definitely possible. But like if they score, say, 3 touchdowns in this game, I still think, they cover. I still think like Buffalo gets 35, 30, 35 points. So for me, I think it's more so about what the Bills can do on offense against this Miami defense, which isn't fantastic. And I just think Skylar Thompson's going to be way in over his head. It's not Teddy Bridgewater. It's not Tua. And I think it's just Buffalo all day on Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon. That is correct. Then, this is the biggest upset for me, the upset special of the week for me. The New York Giants traveling to Minnesota to face off against the 13-win Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 3-point favorites at home. Sean, do you trust Kirk Cousins in prime time in a playoff game against Wink Martindale's defense of the New York Giants, who has been playing very well this year?
Yeah. Again, I want to say this. I changed my mind on it as I waffled on this game throughout the week. I feel like the Vikings offensive line is in a bit of trouble. I think they lost Brian O'Neill, their right tackle, who had a fantastic season. And like you said, like Wink Martindale's defense has played fantastic. So for me, I think, again, another tight game, one that could come down to a last possession. I just don't trust #FraudWatch. I don't trust the Vikings to get it done. Would I be surprised if they won? No, absolutely not. I mean, they had as many wins on the season as they did for a reason. But for me, I just think, give me the field goal and maybe, maybe if they lose by 3, I still get the push. I'm going to lean with the Giants in this one.
I got the Vikings. I'm a believer in the Vikings. And I know it's not really, a comfortable spot to be in this year, saying that you're comfortable with the Vikes, but I am, because when you look at the Giants, right? This is the first playoff game that Daniel Jones will be in. One of the toughest places to play in the NFL. Okay, US Bank is different. So how is he going to play in this matchup? Do I expect Daniel Jones to outscore, and that offense to outscore one of the more, potent offenses in the league in Minnesota? I don't know. And one thing you did mention, O-line, they're going to have to show up, right? Because I'm expecting a better running, game here, because they're going to need it, right? I need Dalvin Cook to have a good game for sure, because the last game he had around 60 rush yards against the Giants. If he could find a way to have 80 plus, hover around 100 yards, that's a lot to ask for, but if he could have a nice game, they could have a shot to win this game. I'm just looking, though, at the pressure that Daniel Jones is going to be under. I don't know if he's going to
I don't think there's any pressure on Daniel Jones. I think all the pressure's on Kirk Cousins, the Minnesota Vikings. 13 wins. They're hosting the playoff game. They got Justin Jefferson. They've got T.J. Hawkins.
Well, I'm not saying the pressure of the media.
Oh,
I'm
the moment.
The moment. Like being on the road.
So, I'm going to go with the Giants, because I think if they can keep it at third down and manageable, and then you have the addition of Daniel Jones is the running ability, he's rushed for over 700 yards this year. That could be a major wrench in the Minnesota Vikings game plan. And he played very well in the Week 16 matchup against the Vikings as well. So I'm going to take the New York Giants, because I don't trust Kirk Cousins, and I think when the pressure gets on him, he's going to throw a pick or fumble or do something and mess it up. And I think the Giants are going to win.
It's not 1 p.m.
So give me the Giants plus 3. Now, this game would have been probably the game of the week had Lamar Jackson been healthy. But, of course, Lamar Jackson is out for the wild card matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. Ravens visiting the Bengals for the second straight week. The Bengals are 8.5-point favorites. Sean, I feel like that's kind of dangerous for me, but what says you?
Yeah, I mean, it came down to a point. I thought it was 9.5 earlier, which is great. I think I'm on the Bengals side of this game. Again, not one of my favorite picks of the week. I'll be looking at a few props maybe for this week, like, will Tyler Huntley actually throw to a wide receiver? No. I don't know what he's doing out there. I mean, For me, like you mentioned, like Jelani mentioned, like the Vikings versus the Giants, I just feel like the Bengals have too much offensive firepower. I mean, the Ravens' defense is solid, but I just don't think they'll be able to have as many points and be able to keep up. So I'm going to take the Bengals in the 8.5, and you know,
Yeah, Bengals.
Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. Bengals. This should be the pick. This is similar to the Miami Buffalo game. Losing your number one quarterback and not having the two, you know, in Miami, that's gonna hurt them, and obviously not having Lamar is gonna hurt Baltimore.
Plus, Hurley's banged up too.
He is banged up, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, when you got Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins,
come
and
on.
Tyler Boyd, it's kind of hard to pick against, right? And it's in Cincinnati, and
Yeah.
I think
The Ravens will need like a pick six or like something to happen to special.
as
special
Jelani
teams.
would say, the Bengals clear.
They clear.
Now, Monday Night Football ending off Super Wild Card Weekend. America's team, God's team, the Dallas Cowboys go to Tampa Bay to face off against the GOAT, Tom Brady, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cowboys are minus 2.5 point favorites.
Are they?
Let's start off with Jelani. Jelani, can you encompass how you feel and who are you going with in this game?
As a Cowboys fan, I'm stressed. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I'm
would
very
be
stressed.
too.
I'm a believer in the Cowboys, but I am not delusional. This is the game where Tampa Bay can get the Cowboys, right? I'm gonna take the Cowboys though.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys. I trust that they're, you know what, talking to each other in the locker room saying we had a bad ending to the regular season, okay? Like 3-4 weeks, bad football. We need to wake up at some point, right? This is do or die now. So I think Dak Prescott, he understands this is a big moment for his career, right? If he loses this game, you're asking questions about him, about
Contract
maybe McCarthy.
situation
Yes.
is coming up soon too, right?
So I think Dak and that offense shows up. And why? The running game. I think the running game is going to be the biggest factor in this one. Can Pollard wake up? Can Zeke help out in terms of those third downs, those 3rd and 1s and stuff in the red zone as well? So I think that's going to be a critical factor in this game. And my question is, can they get to Brady? Obviously tough to knock him down, but we've seen it over the last stretch of the season. Guys have at least gotten to him. Have gotten into him, you know, bothered him, gotten him off script. So I think, Micah, can those guys, Tank Lawrence, get to him? I believe so. Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game comes down to injuries for me. Tampa's dealing with some injuries on their O-line in the center position. Obviously, Micah Parsons hasn't been the same since Thanksgiving.
It's true.
Dallas just lost cornerback Anthony Brown.
Yep.
I expect, to me, this game comes down to play calling. For me, I think Tom Brady and the Bucs should try to throw all over this defense. I don't think, like, Fournette hasn't been very good over the last few weeks. So just throw. Obviously, you have to mix in a run here and there. Obviously, you can't just play pass all day. But for me, it's Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones, Russell Gage. Again, just so many weapons. And also Vita Vea probably going to be back.
Right. That's true. That is
So
true.
that might hurt your Dallas running argument. One of the best run stoppers in the game. For me, I again, not super confident, but I got to take the GOAT. And I hate calling him the GOAT, but I got to take. I got to take.
He is, man.
He
He
is.
is
I got to take Tom Brady at home, getting points.
I'm going with the GOAT at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Tom Brady has never lost for the Dallas Cowboys in his
I
career.
know, I've heard
that
it
will continue. That has been our Super Wild Card Weekend picks. Keep it locked at the parlay for all your sports betting content and fun.